Just a quick little video on how to put iron-on patches onto a jacket. Welcome to Urban Monk TV. So I'm a motorcyclist, and that means that I go out into the world and venture a bit. And some of us, not all of us, but some of us like to commemorate things that we've done, places we've gone, that kind of thing, or just brands that we like. And frankly, it gives kind of an aesthetic to the lifestyle with patches. And a couple years ago, actually it was 2015, I took a almost 1,700 mile ride around Lake Superior. There's a lot of shoreline there, so that actually ended up being quite a ride. And I got this cool Lake Superior patch. We're gonna put this thing on. I want to show you how I do it. I use a specialized iron, but you can do this with a regular iron at home. The problem I have with regular irons is usually the surface is far larger than the patch we're doing, and you gotta really work around that. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure that the patch you're putting on actually has the glue, the coating on the back. Not all patches do. Some are intended only to be sewn on, and essentially it'll feel like it has a plastic backing. That plasticky stuff is the adhesive. And then the other tools I need are a pressing cloth, which helps me focus the heat only on the patch. It helps to keep from melting the fibers of the patch, although frankly, if you don't have one of these, it's not the end of the world. You can put your iron right on these, but it does tend to kind of flatten out, I'll say, the stitching on a lot of patches if you don't have this. But with this, you need to increase the amount of time you apply heat, whereas if you're going straight on with the iron, I would say for the kind of iron I'm using, I only keep it on there about 60 seconds. If you're doing the cloth, then I'd increase that by 30 seconds to about 1.5 minutes, because it just takes more time for the heat to get through there. The other tool I need is an iron, and what I like to use comes from the hobby world. You can find this at any hobby store. This one I got back when I was making RC remote control airplanes, and they have a skin. It's like a plastic material, but it's a shrink. It has adhesive, and you would run this all over. And anyways, I put it on the highest setting. I've had it heating up here, and don't fall down. So the next thing to do is pick a place where you want this patch to go. So on this jacket, I've determined that I want to put the patch down here low, and a couple of things here. Look for what's behind. This has a zipper liner, so I zip the liner back and have it down to just, you know, flat. I don't want something kind of lumpy or strange underneath there. I can't do much about this seam. There is that zipper there. You know, I'm going to do the best I can. And the other thing I need to do, because I'm working with a heavy jacket, if I let go of this thing, it just wants to slide right off of the ironing board. So I need some way to just hold this, and you could do this various ways, but I'm in the garage, so I've got these clamps laying around. Just something to hold it. So now that we have the location we want, we kind of test fit that. I want to go off center a little bit. And I'll lay down my pressing cloth, just one layer of this. And here I've got a plastic zipper. So I am not going to approach this from this side and hit that plastic. I'm going to make sure that you know, I don't bring it back any further than here. This is where a small iron is helpful. A large iron, maybe you'd have to work from this side, but there's another zipper over here. So I like the smaller irons for this because I can be more pinpointed. Make sure you have your patch straight where you want it. And carefully lay your pressing cloth down. I made a note of where my zipper is, and I'm just going to press. And I'm counting to about 90 seconds. I'm also going to rock the iron a little bit because this one has a curved tip. And the surface underneath, because of that zipper underneath, is a little uneven. So I'm going to have to work around, but for now I'm just trying to heat the patch up. Feel where the edge is. Now I'm just focusing on the tip because I've got that bump underneath. So I'm just going to press down in this area, counting all the time. I'm up to 30 seconds. And now I may come around this way. Just make sure I'm focusing all areas. When you're moving the iron, don't slide your patch. This one's Teflon coated, the iron, so that helps things be very smooth. But you don't want to be swiping the patch or you'll just smear the glue. The other thing I would say is that different materials may take a different amount of time. And so because I've got that little bump in there created by the zipper underneath for the lining, I'm going to spend a little extra time with this. Alright. I am adhered. That is very hot. I'm going to let that cool now, and then I'm going to check it. So this is still quite hot, but I'm cooling, and I actually put my hand on it. It feels very warm, but if I'm feeling warm, that means my hand is drawing heat out of the patch and essentially cooling the patch, which is great. I mean, my hand is full of a lot of water. I don't know what percentage humans are water, but quite a bit. And so that water makes a nice heat sink. So my hand makes a nice heat sink. Now I'm just going to carefully kind of tug up on some of the edges. Just make sure I'm glued all the way around. And I am. This feels good. If this patch comes loose later anywhere, I can hit that with heat again. That glue doesn't really degrade in any way over time. Even if you've heated it and it cooled, you can reheat it and get it to stick again. There. That's stuck on. Got a little warm spot there. Ooh. And we got a little bulgy spot. Hey, thanks for watching.